She was the major of our family.
Yeah.
She was the oldest. Now since she's passed, Dot is our matriarch. She's the oldest. She's like 99, I think. 98?
Should be 99 in September.
Yeah. So she's the matriarch of our family now. She's been a part of it. Let's give them a moment of silence.
You stay there. Where's your ring? Oh, you put it under my seat.
Yeah.
Did I miss anybody? Was there any others? No? Those guys are going to be missed.
I'll be right back.
Dad, could you grab my hat out of the car? Okay, sorry, Dad.
You can hold this. I did a little map because I'm going to show how our family has come from. This is Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky's here, Tennessee. We came out of here and ended up over here. This right here is Parker Central. I'm not kidding you. This area right here in Tennessee is where, I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm gonna do a talk on Joshua. And Joshua, we have Rayburn and Cordy Bell. That's the father of our 6 branches and mother. His dad was William S. and his dad was Joshua. And then after that it went Samuel and John. And that's as far back as we can get so far. So anyway, I'm going to talk about Joshua. Joshua actually is one of my most favorite of these ancestors. This guy was unbelievable. He was adventurous. He just did a lot. He was born November 15th, 1776 in Grayson County, right here in Virginia. That was 4 months after the Declaration of Independence, where it was signed. So he was born right here. This right here is where our first property for Parkers in the United States was. It was still under the King of England though, but John got 296 acres in Grayson County, right by a town called Blalox. And it was a King's grant, because we were still under the King of England at that point. He also ended up owning thousands of acres in Surrey County. Right over here. So Surrey County and Grayson County are almost next to each other. Just one's in one state and the other's in the other state. Surrey County is where they kind of almost all ended up. And so I want to talk a little bit about this period right here. Our first property that we got, Parker's got, was in 1774, that 296 acres. They ended up getting thousands and thousands of acres in Surrey County. And you got to think back when John was the first one here, and he came from Ireland. And Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland and England, they were all under the King of England. It was all controlled. No one owned any land at all. It was all the king owned it. It was the king's road, it was the king's land. He put dukes and barons and stuff out there getting big chunks of land and says, this is yours to control. And he had people come in as tenants. So we were tenants, and I don't know if any of you remember last year I spoke about that, but how long a tenancy was in Northern Ireland. Does anybody remember that? Oh. This was a serious business. When you wanted to be a tenant in Ireland during this time period, you had to sign a tenant lease for 3 generations. You were signing for your grandson. That far back. So excuse me, I got this thing in my throat that's messing with me. So it was serious business. So when John and Samuel, they were both born in Ireland, when they came over, there's all this land, free land. They've never had that in their life. This was like something new. They felt like barons or something, you know. They were grabbing up this land as fast as they could get it. And this is a wild country. It was Indians. It was log cabins. They lived in log cabins. There was no boards. They were building log cabins and living in log cabins, literally. And then when Joshua was born, that was 4 months when the Declaration of Independence was signed. The Revolutionary War was going on when he was born. Samuel and John both fought in the Revolutionary War. They belonged to a group of people called Over the Mountain Men. They both fought in it. And so there's not very much information on Joshua, but you can think what he grew up in. Hearing stories about Ireland, not owning any land. Hearing stories about his dad and his grandpa in the Revolutionary War. They lived right here, and there's a river. This land up here in Virginia, it was on Meadow Creek, was where the land was. This land down here in Surrey County was on the Yadkin River. That time period when they were living there in the Yadkin River, Daniel Boone and his little brother Squire both lived there too. They were both right there on the Yadkin River the same time these guys were there. They had to have known each other. I mean, it's just impossible that they didn't know each other. And so they're hearing these stories about the revolution, about his dad's thing, you know, and his grandpa fighting Ireland. At the same time, this country ends right here. Our whole country. This is the end of the 13 colonies. Is right here, right over on this side. Daniel Boone opened this up right here, the Cumberland Gap. He found it, blazed a trail through there. People started pouring through. Our family lived right here. They were probably hearing stories of people passing through, telling them stories about what was over here. And so Joshua, I know that excited him because where he ended up, it had to, from what I can tell, he was the kind of guy that was real adventurous on that. And I think the catalyst that made him move from here over to here was not just the stories and all that. John, his grandpa, died in 1792, 1793. They're not real sure of when that was. That's when the movement started. So I think that caused, I don't know, you know, because no one here was there, but I think that was a big shock for the family, especially Samuel. Joshua, he had 3 older brothers, Richard, William, Samuel Jr., and a younger brother named John. He was he was the second youngest out of 9 kids. He had 4 older sisters. So when John passed away, these brothers and sisters of his, and I think there was 7 of them. So 7 out of the 9 kids ended up right here. And I know that because I got marriage certificates. This is Joshua's. I'll pass it around. This is a copy of his marriage certificate. All the kids, except for two of them, got married right up here on the Ohio River. This is the Tennessee River, the Ohio River, and the Mississippi. There's three ways to go through here. There's the Cumberland Gap. You go up here, and there's another river up here called the Cumberland River. So you would have had to walk up through all this Indian territory. Or you could come across this way through all Indian territory. I think they went this way. It was the easiest way. Floated the river. And they were doing that. Other people were doing that too. They were floating the river in these flatboats. These flatboats were like 10 feet wide and about 60 feet long. They were huge. So I think when the family all decided, including Samuel, the son, Joshua's dad, when John died, they kind of had an idea, and this is the first river they would come to. I think they floated it all the way down, and it went around Huntsville down here in Alabama. That's a crucial spot too, because a bunch of them ended up in the back and ended up right there. But they floated down, I'm sure, around. Now I've lost.
Those are all the names.
Okay, so
Dan, where is that everybody ends up in? Oh, that's Kentucky.
that's better. That's easier. I'm doing it backwards here for a minute. Right-handed here.
Don't get after it.
This whole area right here, when John died, his son Samuel ended up with almost all this land. Almost every single bit of it. And no one knows where John was buried. His wife, Hannah, where's Hannah? His wife, Hannah, is buried right here in a place called Deep Creek Friends Church. And their son, William, and his wife, Lydia, are buried right there. So things happened right here. The Parkers decided they'd all move, and I don't know if they went in one big group or two groups. I'm sure they went with the Boones. I'm almost positive they went with either Daniel. I'm thinking more of Squire, because Squire Boone ended up right there where they were. So I'm thinking that they went with Squire, and they floated this river down. And they all ended up here because here's all the marriage of all the kids. You can pass that. All the kids except for two got married right here. And that started in 1793 to 1802.
Yeah, she'll get it to us and I'll hold it there.
1793 is probably when John died. They all took off.
When it gets over
They
here.
stopped here in Waverly.
And I hold it for a
This
while.
whole county is called Humphreys County. This whole county where Waverly is, they had 100 acres on Trace Creek right here. Samuel did. He got that land for fighting in the Revolutionary War.
Yes.
That whole county, payment to the soldiers in the Revolutionary War is payment. They all got land. So the whole county of Humphreys County.
Zoom in there. There we go.
Revolutionary War soldiers.
Wow.
Samuel got 100 acres right here in Waverly.
That is amazing.
Right on Trace Creek, which is
Thank you.
I got a picture of it here. I'm not sure where the land is exactly, but in this picture at the bottom, this is Trace Creek. And this is part of Waverly, Tennessee today. This is Parker Avenue. And it's going right down to Trace Creek. So I think their land was right here. You know, it makes sense. You know, they named it after the founders, that street. So that's where I think Parker Central started, right there. Joshua, I think Samuel ended up staying right here. The other kids ended up up here. This is Louisville, Kentucky, right here. This is just a small little place. They ended up right here in Shelbyville. This was called Jefferson County, and then it split and became Shelby County later.
Jefferson to Shelby County, huh?
I believe they were here in
I'll check it out.
Shelbyville. It's hard to say where exactly they were at. I'm guessing this because Shelbyville was right on a creek called Clear Creek, believe it or not. So they were on Clear Creek on the east or the west side of Clear Creek. A mile on the other side of Clear Creek was a school, and Parkers are listed as some of the kids for that school. So I'm sure they were right here.
Thank you, Hannah.
Boone's little brother, Squire, was 2 miles
Parker
north of
Avenue.
Shelbyville, at a place called Painted Rock Station.
Right next to Rhodes Court.
And he actually
Serious?
wanted this
Yep.
to be the county seat, but Indians came in, they had to abandon it. They all ran for their lives, and it just kind of disappeared. Shelbyville
He believes
became
everything.
the county seat. You gonna bring a four-wheeler? They got rules there. Your log, these guys were building log
Hey,
cabins.
Tony.
And one of the rules at that time was it had to be a story and a half tall. So they were building these big, tall log cabins. Another thing for being there in all of Kentucky was anybody that was at the age of 18 or 40 to 45 years old had to join. It was called the Kentucky Cornstalk Militia. You were required to join that. And that was to help fight off Indians. They would call you up at any time. Joshua was enlisted at that. It was in May of 1800 that he joined the Cornstalk Militia. And August 7th of that same year is when he married, and he married a woman that was born there. So her family was there even before he was. He married a woman named Mary Patterson. And they got married in 1800 right there. He was 24 years old when he got married and when he joined that militia. He was pretty young when he was doing this in 1800. They got there probably 1793, probably 7 years before he got married. There's a note. Joshua's youngest son, his name was Felix. He ended up living right here in Magnolia. In the Magnolia post office is where he ended up living. But he was a doctor, and this is Joshua's youngest son. He was a doctor. He wrote in his Bible all this information. All this information comes straight from Joshua's youngest son's Bible. That Bible came to light in 1972. It was kind of kept, no one knew about it until 1972, when it was published in a thing called the River Counties Quarterly. That was a thing that was going on down here. It was just a few counties right here, the River Counties Quarterly. And the Bible is in the hands of a woman named Betty Lee Fawn. That's who owns this Bible. And what she wrote in that Bible, so I'm going to kind of break here and go backwards in time a little bit. What Felix wrote in that Bible was, this is what it says. It says, Joshua came to Texas. So he gets here in 1793, somewhere in here. Before that, he had to have went to Texas. Because it says he came to Texas at an early date and received a Spanish land grant down here in Texas, where the city of Houston sits today. It says he came to Texas by boat on the Mississippi River and fought Indians on the way. And then he returned to Kentucky. Okay, I did a little research on Spanish land grants. That's before Mexico had Texas. So this is when Spain still had it. As far as I can tell, there was only 170 of those land grants. But apparently, his land grant was right where the city of Houston is today. And I don't know what happened to that. He probably just got the land grant and left. It was pretty hard to get Spanish land grants, really hard. I think but anyway, he ended up back up here and got married to Mary Patterson, belonged to the militia thing, and they would have one kid, James, while they were living here. That was in 1801. In 1806, his next kid was born right here in Waverly. So he left here and came back down here. Only one of Samuel's kids ended up staying up here. The rest of them all moved to here and down here in Huntsville, Alabama. 3 of them moved down here. The rest of them were all right here. So Joshua ended up down here. Him and his wife had 7 kids, 6 boys and 1 girl. He ended up living here the rest of his life, Joshua did. His adventure and everything that way, and he probably spent a lot of years. He probably went to Texas when he was 16 or 17 years old, is my guess. And it probably was with all these guys here. Shelbyville at that time in 1800, there was 262 people living there. Squire Boone, all these pioneer guys. He was young. He probably heard about all these stories and this land and stuff, and he went on an adventure with them. Went down there to Texas and ended up coming back. Got married, had a kid here. The rest of them were born here. Samuel, or William, is our descendant from him. And this is a picture of Samuel and his wife. Look at her. She don't look happy. That's a 17.
Thank you, Vanna. Thank you, Vanna.
It took 5 minutes for
So they had Sam, William, they were living on Trace Creek, and their son William, our descendant, from that makes our family, we're all related to these guys. He was born in November, or October, excuse me. Probably in a log cabin. It's in the fall. Chestnuts are falling everywhere, and that was a treat for them guys back in those days. You know, chestnuts, they got a little fuzzy thing around them. They would go out there and gather those things up and roast them. So that log cabin probably smelled like roasted chestnuts. They probably had no one around, no doctors. I mean, Felix wasn't born yet. And so this baby, he was probably born, you know, just the women that happened to be around that area helping and stuff. And I'm sure that cabin smelled like chestnuts. I can just guarantee it smelled like chestnuts roasted.
Did you guys want to see the picture?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Thank you. Wow.
Looks like you.
There's no way.
William
Oh, wait a minute. You're right.
in Texas.
You're right.
Texas right on the Red River.
Yeah,
That's where that was Jess's dad. Ended up right there.
Oh, hold on. These are repeats. This is free.
Oh yeah, that.
Handouts.
I think that's the last. That's the last.
You're right. You're right.
That doesn't really have to kill it.
It's somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
And then I mixed up on this stuff there.
At least.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. They got it. Come on.
Finish this up with this
First,
This is Parker's.
peppery jam. Peppery.
Right here is a place called Parker's Crossroads. Right here in Waverly on Grace Creek, Parker Avenue. Right here, above Waverly, about 2 miles out, is Parker Cemetery. That's what it looks like. Samuel and Joshua are both buried in Parker Cemetery right here. There's another place over here called Parker Hill. Parkers ended up staying here, most of them, for a long, long time.
Stop, Paul.
So if you ever go back to this place,
Just
there's a lot of history right here. We pretty much own that town. Parkers were just big in that even Felix, even up a little north in the Magnolia.
So, you're on Parker too.
Joshua ended up dying on New Year's Eve.
He's probably that's right.
It was a good year.
Picture.
Died on New Year's Eve.
And he went out the lobby before we left.
This is a copy. When they ended up selling for property right here.
Twice a day, so
Here's a little copy. There's other stuff on it.
Oh, cool.
One right here. This is how I know
That's
my
Photoshop.
ended up in Alabama because it lists
it's
all the
either
kids.
repainted too. I didn't know they had welders back then.
Dude, brand new fencing.
Right?
Look
Welding.
at that. Kellogg welding.
They ended up in Madison
I didn't know they had welders in the 1800s.
Oh, that's so sweet. Wow. Just a quick twist and a turn and a burn.
William,
The things we can do.
ended up in Texas. And I'm going to do that one later on. There's 2 other guys in our family, though, that I want to bring kind of up.
Brand new chain link. So
Galvanized? I didn't know they had that back then.
I can't see this,
I'd like to see the
Samuel
headstone.
had a brother named William.
Old school.
He had a son named Joshua also. So there was 2 Joshuas about that same time period.
Come on, Zen.
They were cousins.
Here, hang on. Do so.
This Joshua was one of the first
going on
300 people. He belonged to what they call the old
guys seen it
300s. Texas old 300.
Asian.
This
If you're
was,
listening to music past that, Asian don't go on YouTube very much.
Steve
Other
Austin.
than for music.
We have a channel.
And this is right around the time of the Alamo
Parker Family
and stuff.
Reunion.
Steve Austin.
Oh, it should be when I get home this afternoon.
They're the ones that fought the Mexicans to get Texas.
All right.
It's,
I should have linked you a long time ago, yes.
Joshua was one of those
So,
300.
Evidently
He had a
today
place
I'm
there
gonna
on
be
the Bravos,
project manager.
and it was a
Should be
great
fine.
catty corner
But
from
I've been
Steve
doing this
Austin's
social media
headquarters.
shit.
He had land there. He's buried
I'll just get another
right
title.
now. His daughter ended up
I'm
in a
not
place
even
called
16 years old. I know what I'm doing.
That's how I usually do.
Creek, Texas.
My grandpa Carlos is like,
That's
my
that.
grandpa Carlos is like
Over on the
84.
other side,
We just came down and visited him
William,
2 days ago.
Joshua's
Last week.
son William, that was artist member,
We
he had a brother
David, his master
named
daughter.
John,
Took him down to visit. Grandpa
who
got
was
a
the
new,
founder
new
of a
phone, but
town
it's
called
still a
Parker, Texas.
prepaid. No, it's a prepaid one, but it's like an iPhone.
Still there now.
But he didn't know how to
Still
like,
there.
set it up.
Parker
So
Texas
I'm
is
like,
still there.
Gramps,
I
in
cannot
this
find
day
a
of it,
link.
she's 16. She'll get it done in a few minutes.
Juana Parker.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes. It's all set up with
This
emails
town-
and everything for him.
and
And
the story goes, from what I've heard,
cool.
like from my grandpa, was like his grandpa's brother
Okay.
went out and searched, was in part of that search party. These Parkers right here,
it
the
time?
town Parker, the town of Parker.
Yeah.
That town is only about 80 miles north of Fort Parker.
We're going at 29, almost
So
30
when
minutes.
Fort
in this one.
Parker was
Last year
attacked,
was 35.
and all those people were killed, And Cynthia Ann got taken captive. They
Stuff's
went after
interesting.
her. And the Indians, they didn't head south. They didn't go to the Gulf of Mexico. They didn't go that way. They went north.
Yeah, yeah.
So those people looking for her went north.
Detailed.
They went right through
Just like taking
Parker,
a dry
Texas.
history.
And since those guys' names is
Doing
Parker,
it smells like chestnuts.
I would bet money they
So
joined
cool.
the service.
Put you there.
Yeah.
We might still be related to
Yeah, I'm
Juana.
gonna
I
donate
mean,
$5 to you.
it's really
I thought
hard.
that what happened, I thought the story was that she got kidnapped and
Go
then
to the park.
the white man
Let's
got
go
her
now.
back.
They did.
Then
They
she
got her
didn't
back.
want, she didn't want
Are you
to
doing
She
anything?
went back with them.
We did.
Right. Like
Died. He was
Seen
buried,
you.
reburied
Rick was?
like 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Right.
He got buried a lot.
He had a brother too that got stolen at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. We.
Right.
I was
The
telling
problem
Quincy
is where I
about this
cannot
project
find
managership.
is because
My
Cynthia Ann
contention.
Parker,
Yeah, because you did
her
it.
dad's name,
Well, my contention at the family meeting was, let's get the shit fixed we got now,
his dad's name was
rather
John
than
R. They called him
do a
Elder
bunch of other
John.
shit. And so
Those
they
are the
said,
ones
okay,
that
well,
found
now,
that
I was
Fort
telling
Harbor.
Quincy, whoever
No one
does
knows
the water here
Elder
doesn't work.
John's dad is.
That's right.
The line-
All you have to do,
Until they
the
can figure out
pipe,
who
the
his
water
dad
pipe is down
we're not going to be able to
2.5 to 3 feet.
That's good.
I'm sure we're
So you
connected
dig that up,
because there's so
simply
many of us
unscrew that
markets
whole
in
hydrant,
Texas at that time.
get another one screwed as place, and you got
The
water.
only way we're going to be able to
Because the drain, the stem is at the bottom.
they got descendants.
Get out of here.
It's a footnote.
That's pretty neat.
See if there's some match there somehow. But we don't know how our
Property of the lead.
family connects
John
over
what?
to Elder John. Because those ones are pretty different.
John
We know
Wente?
Indiana, Silas, Elder
He said advertised.
We just don't know who his dad was.
Look, you guys spelled Parker wrong.
There's a lot of Johns in our
Some typewriter's missing, huh?
family. One of our Johns could have been that Elder John, but I can't
Okay.
find that link to tie it over.
We can talk.
And so,
And if you want to know how this is all laid out,
Yeah. Do we have the map?
no, well, it's right here,
Okay,
because
perfect.
I did it.
I know. That's why you're valuable.
But I can give you all the particulars.
But you know what?
he's really got some
People like
meat on
you
the
looking up here running the power. You know, I mean, maybe the cable is laid, but you know, the UF. But I know that cable is just integral, even on the toilets, you know. And then you came out and disconnected all that shit. And, you know, it's really important.
Yeah.
You know, family's doing a good job.
I'm sure we're related
Although
somehow.
we just didn't have a way to
And I know
report
that we were some of
and
the first over here. The first
you
three
know,
on it
Trent's been
in
doing a few
Texas.
things for a few years, but what I'm talking about is
This is
the
after-
breakdown of the
this is after
system
Mexico.
with that hydrant.
After Mexico became
Well, there was one down there that was leaking for years.
At the stem.
Yeah. And it finally got fixed, got replaced. And these were all bought in the year 2000. So you can't, they don't have replacement parts that are 20 years old.
No.
You have
It's
to
a
buy
new
new ones.
It's a new one. It's another $60.
Yeah.
For
Well, at the
I think
time,
we're doing 6-footers because those are 3 feet in the ground and they're at least 3 feet up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say
That's what we want to do is we want to keep them up.
That's what we bought last year. And another thing I'd like to see you do, you're doing this.
Should we talk about this in a minute?
Yeah, in a minute.
Okay.
Because it's the way this place is wired.
Yes.
I
That
can-
was something we can talk about.
Yeah,
I'm
whoever's,
impressed that it's braked per each system because I had the girls come up last night and say, hey, can you help us reset? Because they were overloaded. They used a heat gun to do some shit. And, you know, 20 amp, I told her.
these are 15 amp.
That's what I told her. I said 20 amp is what we need. The wire is probably capable of it. We just have to upgrade.
Yeah.
And that means we're going to have to redo the receptacle because those are designed to sense. And so we do a breaker and then any GFCI out here. Because those are not GFCI. So they have to be out here. Or,
Good job, Uncle Dan.
yeah, there's There's some work.
Don't be all
It's not a lot of money, but what it is
It's time.
tenacity.
Yeah,
And
it's time.
It's family volunteering.
And each,
Okay, let's see what's going on.
Vanna, would you stand? Come, Vanna White. Thank you.
Oh, shoot.
Come here, would you please?
Okay, we got something going on. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That's why it's nice to film this. Because there's people that didn't get here, and if they knew we had YouTube, they could just hang out for an evening and have dinner and watch.
So, I'm Karma's husband, and I've been coming here for 25 years. And there's a lot of work that goes into this property. And this group right here, I've been seeing here for 25 years. And they're the reason you have a reunion. They're the ones that are mowing. They're the ones taking care of your outhouses. They're the ones that are cleaning. They're the ones doing everything, and they do it all year long. And I know you got a big group here on your voting, but please think about the people that are here doing the work.
Clint, you need to join
And,
over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But these are the people I've been seeing on and on for 25 years out here. Like when there was bathrooms built, the only one that's
I
not
show
here
up
is
and
Bob
nobody's
Lindsay,
here.
but his trailer's
Maybe
sitting
just
over there
buried by
to
shit.
fill up the garbage. So everybody's always welcome in these work parties. But this group right here has been consistent since I've been around.
How about a big thank you?
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank Rod and my dad for wiring the outhouses.
Yeah, and Uncle Scotty mowed this place for years.
That's right.
With his,
Ready for the auction?
with his, what the hell do you always have that? That freaking apple pie moonshine.